saying, and they're telling us who we are, forcing new identities on us. And if you say, I don't like it, you're called phobic. If you say you don't like it, you're a bigot. If you say you don't like it, you're a bad girl. And that's what's happening. You have the British Psychological Society wanting to normalize calling women sluts. You have Planned Parenthood, they have just lost their minds. Everything is vulva this and all of that. Scientific journals calling women black birthing bodies and vaginal receptacles. So you have multiple industries that's participating, and the trans dominance is the shield that's being used for responding to our dissent and our fight against the dehumanization. So I keep the big picture. I don't get into all of it. You know, if any man, if a man wants to try to step to me to have a conversation about what is a woman, I go, oh no, I'm not having this conversation with you. You're a colonizer. You have the power to step into my world. And then if I don't listen to you, you have the power to step out and then flex your dominance. So this is not a fair conversation, and I did not give you permission. You do not have my permission to have these conversations. You do not have my permission to call me these alternative things. And that's that. Generally speaking, I don't go down the deep worlds and all that, because that's what a pimp does. A pimp keeps his community of women that he has subjugated confused, in defense mode, defending themselves, competing with the other girls, praying that everything's going to be okay that evening. Every day is chaos.
In the dystopian novel 1984, thought crime is the offense of thinking in ways not approved by the ruling and soft party. In the official language of Newspeak, the word crime think describes the intellectual actions of a person who entertains and holds politically unacceptable thoughts. Thus, the government of the party controls the speech, the actions, and the thoughts of the citizens of Oceania. In contemporary English usage, the word thought crime describes the personal beliefs that are contrary to the accepted norms of society. Thus, thought crime describes the theological practices of disbelief and idolatry and the rejection of an ideology. In the story of 1984, the think pol thought police are responsible for the detection and elimination of thought crime and for the social control of the populations of Oceania by way of audio-visual surveillance and offender profiling. Such psychological monitoring allows the thought police to detect, arrest, and kill thought criminal citizens whose independence, intellectual, mental, and moral challenges the political orthodoxy of INGSOC, English socialism, and thus the legitimate government authority of the party. In the detection of thought crime and the overcome of physical impossibility of simultaneously policing every citizen of Oceania, the think pol spy upon the populace through ubiquitous two-way telescreens and so can monitor any person's body language, reflexive speech, and facial expressions. Any sound that Winston made above the level of a very low whisper would be picked up by the telescreen. Moreover, so long as he remained within the field of vision which the metal plaque commanded, he could be seen as well as heard. There was, of course, no way of knowing whether you were being watched at any given moment, how often or on what system the thought police plugged in on any individual wire was guesswork. The universal physical presence of the telescreen in any public and in private spaces exerted psychological pressure upon each citizen of Oceania to presume that they were under constant think pol surveillance and thus in danger of detection and arrest as a thought criminal. Thus, Whenever near was a telescreen, Winston Smith was always mindful of that possibility. If you made unexpected movements, they yelled at you from the telescreen. Such surveillance methods allow the think pole and the Ministry of Love, mini-love, to become universally feared by the citizens of Oceania, especially by the members of the outer party, which included Smith. Crime Stop. In the Newspeak vocabulary, the word crime stop denotes the citizen's instinctive desire to rid himself of unwanted, incorrect thoughts, personal and political, the discovery of which by the think pole would lead to the detection and arrest, transport to, and interrogation at Mini-Love, Ministry of Love. The protagonist, Winston Smith, describes Crime Stop as a conscious process of self-imposed cognitive dissonance. The mind should develop a blind spot whenever a dangerous thought presented itself. The process should be automatic, instinctive. Crime Stop, they called it Newspeak. He set to work to exercise himself in Crime Stop. He presented himself within propositions. The party says the earth is flat. The party says that ice is heavier than water, and trained himself in not seeing or not understanding the arguments that contradicted them. Moreover, from the perspective of Oceania's principal enemy of the state in the history book, The Theory and Practice of Oligarchical Collectivism, Emmanuel Goldstein said that crime stop means the faculty of stopping short as though by instinct at the threshold of any dangerous thought. It includes the power of not grasping analogies, of failing to perceive logical errors, of misunderstanding the simplest arguments if they are inimical to insight, and of being bored or repelled by any train of thought which is incapable of leading in a heretical direction. Crime Stop, in short, means protective stupidity. In real life, various groups such as human rights organizations, journalists, and activists have likened the Iranian regime along with the IRIB and IRGC to a Orwellian government. This sentiment is due to reports of the Iranian government distributing death sentences for any crime of advertising against the holy system. Zabain el-Hab, an Iranian phrase that translates to thought or tongue of revolution, is used to describe the rhetoric used by the government to maintain ideological dominance over the population and is often compared to newspeak. So there's a great review of the book on transhumanism written by Jennifer Bielek, and I just wanted to read that review because for this thought criminal series that I'm going to be doing for the next 3 or 4 videos, we're going to get into different thought crimes and different ways of thinking. But listen to this review. It says, transsexual, transgender, transhumanism brings a wider audience. Jennifer Bielek's investigative journalism uncovering what the trans phenomenon is actually about and where it is leading. This collection of articles, many taken from Bielek's 11th Hour blog, challenges the notion that institutions which fought against women and gays' rights are now extending human rights by actively promoting a corporate fiction of gender identity. Trans as a category defines definition, but its acceptance distorts beyond recognition the meaning of sex, homosexuality, and heterosexuality. Bielek warns that this is indoctrinating us into a technological cult and disconnecting us from the reality of our sexed bodies and from nature itself. Bielek's meticulous research follows the money back from the organizations promoting trans rights to the rich white men funding them and seeking new profit opportunities for the multiplication of different identities. She traces how what started as an adult male sexual fetish morphed into the construction of synthetic sex identities from manipulated body parts and is leading to a transhumanist dystopia where reproduction is artificial, life is extended, and humans become melded with machines. This, she shows, is not an organic development, but the deliberate outcome of an industry that requires acceptance of disassociation from our bodies as normal. The introduction new to the book provides Important historical context. It traces the rapid descent from the optimism of Occupy Wall Street in 2011 to the nightmare current situation where society is being transformed to obliterate the sex boundary towards a tech takeover of human reproduction and eventually humanity itself. Transsexual, transgender, transhumanism is an essential guide to what underlies the corporate fiction that is gender identity. It's also a call to action to defend not only the safety and bodies of women and children, but humanity itself. It should be essential reading for anyone who values staying human. Stay human, you guys. Get into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this series that I'm working on and I'm going to be delivering to you all. Get into the comment section, like, share, subscribe. We are reading this book right now in our book club, and it's mind-blowing to see Jennifer's research and all of the connecting of the dots she's done to kind of follow the money back to rich white men and their perversion and their desire to destroy the lives of women and children. But let me know what you think. Get into the comment section, like, share, subscribe. Thanks.